Welcome to the show where ideas flow. Feed your mind with thoughts that glow. Join the conversation, let's dive in deep. Food for thought, a feast to keep.
Episode 6, Part 2: The Reason for Faith, When the Mind Meets Mystery. Welcome to Food for Thought. I'm Jack, and this is Part 2 of our exploration into one of the most enduring human questions: can reason lead us to faith? Last time we saw how some of the greatest minds, Aquinas, Anselm, Pascal, tried to use logic and philosophy to point to God. We saw that reason can support faith, but it can't seal the deal. So where does that leave us? In this episode, we move past the boundaries of logic and enter into a different terrain: mystery, experience, and the deep longing of the soul. If reason brings us to the edge of belief, what helps us to take the leap? Let's talk about what comes after reason. Segment 1: The Fall of Reason and the Rise of Something Else. We live in an age that prizes proof: scientific, mathematical, observable. But the most important parts of our lives resist proof. You can't prove love. You can't prove the value of a sunset or the feeling of holding your baby for the first time. These are not irrational experiences, they are supra rational. They transcend the data, they speak to something deeper. And faith belongs to that world. 20th century philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein once said, "Whereof one cannot speak, thereof one must be silent." But silence is an absence, it's reverence, mystery, the kind of silence you hold at the edge of the Grand Canyon or in the presence of a dying friend. In those moments, you're not abandoning reason, you're stepping past it into wonder. Belief in God may not be provable like a math problem, but it may arise from the same place that gives birth to our deepest values: love, justice, beauty, hope. Maybe what we need isn't less logic, but more imagination, more awe. Segment 2: The Rollout of Doubt and Why It Matters. Okay, here's the paradox: doubt isn't the opposite of faith, it's part of it. The writer Frederick Buechner said, "Doubt is the ants in the pants of faith. It keeps it awake and moving." And that's true. Real faith doesn't come from shutting your eyes and forcing belief. It comes from wrestling, questioning, returning again and again to the mystery, and still choosing to trust. Think of Mother Teresa, a saint who experienced deep spiritual darkness for most of her life. All the psalmists crying out, "Why have you forsaken me?" These weren't people who lacked faith. They were people who held on in spite of not feeling it. Faith isn't certainty, it's commitment in the absence of it. And here's where it gets hopeful. Doubt means you're still in the conversation, still reaching, still hoping that there's something or someone on the other side of that silence. That reaching, that longing is sacred. It's the mark of a soul still alive. Segment 3: When faith becomes experience. Eventually, reason and doubt both give way to something more personal: encounter. This is where we meet mystics like Julian of Norwich, who declared, "All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well." Or Rainier Maria Rilke, who said, "The purpose of life is to be defeated by greater and greater things." These aren't conclusions, they're revelations. Faith becomes not something you argue for, but something you see, or feel, or walk with. It becomes relationship, mystery, trust. And that doesn't mean all the questions go away, but the need to have them answered changes. Instead of demanding explanation, you start learning to live in the tension, to rest in it, even to find beauty there. That's the journey of faith. And it doesn't start when the questions stop. It starts when we realize some questions were never meant to be answered, only held. Closing thoughts. Faith is a way forward. Let me offer you this. What if faith isn't about turning your brain off, but opening up your heart instead? What if it's not about closing arguments, but about beginning a new kind of conversation? One rooted in humility, imagination, and hope. In the end, maybe God isn't an equation to be solved. Maybe God is a presence to be encountered, a love to be responded to, a mystery to be trusted. If you're searching, doubting, hoping, you're not failing. You're walking the same path that millions have walked before you. You are not alone. So let's keep walking, because the unknown may be vast, but it's not empty, and sometimes the most rational thing we can do is believe. Thank you for joining me on Food for Thought today. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure to subscribe, share, and keep the discussion going. You can find Food for Thought on YouTube and Spotify, and connect with me on X, Instagram, and Facebook. So until next time, question what you know, challenge what you believe, and see where the truth takes you.
Every question is a doorway, every answer is a light. We're all searching for a meaning through the long and restless night. Question what you know, challenge what you believe, and see where the truth takes you. Step beyond what feels certain, let your heart begin to see. It's the questions that awaken all we're meant to be. Question what you know, challenge what you believe, and see where the truth takes you. Not every answer's found in the light. Sometimes it's the journey through the unknown that brings us home. Question what you know, challenge what you believe, and see where the truth takes you. Not every answer is found in the light. Sometimes it's the journey through the unknown that brings us home. Question what you know, challenge what you believe, and see where the truth takes you. Not every answer's found in the light. Sometimes it's the journey through the unknown that brings us home. Question what you know, challenge what you believe, and see where the truth takes you.